So threatened to be evicted is not a good thing. If you're actually evicted, also not a good thing for your credit score. So keep these things in mind when you are getting an apartment soon, I'm sure. It's coming up. We're at that age now. All right. The next scenario. Are you not done? Oh, sorry. Yeah, just holler at me. I don't mind. I'm not in a hurry. Not at all. I'm not. Oh, okay. Okay, so Ted never holds a job for more than a few months at a time. He always finds a reason to quit, or, I'm assuming I cut off the or he is fired because he doesn't come to work on time. And last year, he held 6 different jobs. This could harm Tad's credit history because, okay, you wouldn't think about keeping a job harming your history, your credit, but it actually does. First off, not keeping a job. When somebody looks at your credit score and your credit history and they're wanting to loan you money, they want to know that you're going to be able to have a reliable job so that you can pay them back. If you are not being able to keep a job, then they're going to be concerned, are they going to be able to pay me? So that is something that affects your credit history. Being late to work. Mainly because being late to work leads to getting fired. Those things showing up on your credit history shows that you're not reliable. Do they want to give somebody money that is getting fired? And then believe it or not, having a whole bunch of different jobs in a year is a bad thing. Even if you're not fired, even if you give notice, if you job hop a lot, then you are not considered reliable. Now, I'm not saying, you've switched your job once in a year or twice, but 6 times in a year? That's every couple of months you get bored and you're moving on. You're doing something else. And that person is the person who is trying to give you the loan is not sure if you're reliable. Not sure you're going to be able to keep or you're going to want to keep that job. Are you going to quit and have to find another job? So when you are working, you're at this working age, a lot of you probably have jobs. When you're working, make sure that you're trying to hold that job for as long as you can. I understand that you may have to switch, but don't be switching 6 times in a year, a bunch of times in a year. That's not good. And if you have done that in the past, stop. Okay, there's only some parts of this next thing that you'll have to write down. So I'll just kind of highlight. You can decide to write it all down if you want to, that's fine. But some of it, you don't have to. All right. This is our credit rights. One of them we've already talked about was called the Truth in Lending Act. Pink. Okay, the Truth in Lending Act. Well, one of the ways that we used it the other day was that you didn't have to worry about being charged for something that somebody else charged on your credit card. You know, if they stole it, that's Truth in Lending Act. But it also requires that institutions calculate interest they charge in the same way and report it as the annual percentage rate. So put APR beside that. They can't not tell you the annual percentage rate. They have to tell you. So when you get the credit card, there's usually big, at the top, hey, this APR, introductory rate, whatever. And then if they decide to change it, which after COVID, they sent out lots of things changing the annual percentage rate to something higher. They can do that, but they have to tell you. So if they're not telling you your annual percentage rate or how they are calculating the interest, which is usually the way that I've showed you, then they're not following the law. So that's the Truth in Lending Act. The next one is the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Made it illegal to refuse credit based on a person's race, color, religion, national origin, gender, marital status, or age. Now the age is 18 plus, though. Doesn't apply to underage. The way I've seen this one pop up a lot is probably marital status. If you've been divorced, sometimes credit people will not want to loan to you as much because your income's been cut in half, and that part is reasonable, but they cannot base it solely on your marital status, the fact that you have been divorced. I'm sure those other things have been problems as well. You just have to, watch out for those. If you feel like you're being discriminated against, then you have a law to back yourself up there. Start throwing around Equal Credit Opportunity Act. The credit card company will know that you know what you're talking about. The next one is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I don't care if you know the year or not. It's also called the Consumer Credit Reporting Act. It's kind of one is in addition to the other one. It allows you to access your credit history and to have mistakes corrected. Or to be able to explain some of those issues that are showing up. So like one might be, this was never paid, but it was because it was on my credit card by a stolen, somebody stole it. This is when there are 3 credit reporting agencies like Equifax, TransUnion. I can never remember the third one. Anybody know it? Anyways, there's 3 of them, and once a year, you are legally able to access your credit on that for free once a year. After that, you may have to pay for it. So being able to look at your credit history and making sure that it's actually correct is a big deal. So, and these are the two things that make sure that that will happen. Next one, Fair Credit Billing Act. It's a part of the Truth in Lending Act. Here's where they're going to correct billing mistakes. Okay, not just in reports to you, but they actually have to go back and fix those mistakes. So if something is on there and it's incorrect, they have to fix it. And then the Fair Debt Collection Practices set rules for how they must treat people who are in debt. This is the one, you may not know, but if you owe a credit card company, they will call you incessantly if you've missed a payment. Speaking from experience here, you've done it before. And so, but there are rules. They cannot call before a certain time in the morning, and they cannot call after a certain time at night. If they do that, they're breaking the law. They cannot threaten you. There's all these rules that they have to abide by. I don't know exactly what all of those are, but it's under the Fair Debt Collection and Practices Act. Okay, there will be an assignment on Google Classroom that goes with this stuff. I'll put it on there here in a minute. I'll also give you tomorrow to work on it as well. So once you get that written down, go to Google Classroom and look for it.